I'm Pickles from Ruggles, and I will be filling in for the cowboy today. So, I'm gonna try this. Howdy, partner. So, I'm not extremely knowledgeable in a wide range of historical topics, but I did enjoy learning about Philippine history growing up. There's this one point in history that not many people know about. The Marcos regime. Wahaha. So, first we have Ferdinand Marcos. Now, after 2 terms of presidency, he thought, this is not enough for me. Or, to get into the Philippine spirit, this is not enough for me. So in 1972, he declared martial law. Figures, freedom of speech, freedom of press, everything was suppressed. Basically, if anyone spoke negatively about him, they were arrested. He even took things further by forcing schools, shops, hotels to place a picture of him at a reasonable place, and if they did otherwise, they are shut down. So because he declared martial law, he was able to continue his presidency for another 14 years, ultimately making him a dictator. People go through the crap that he does and nobody likes it, people get poor, yada yada yada. 10 years later, a very brave man named Binigno Aquino announces that he would like to challenge Ferdinand Marcos. Dum dum dum. Guess what happens after Big Brave Aquino comes back to the Philippines after being in exile in the United States for 3 years? As he's stepping out of his plane, he gets shot. There are videos all over YouTube and everywhere about his assassination, and it's really, really sad. Now, who do you think ordered his assassination? If you guessed Marcos, you are right. Marcoses, till this day, continue to deny assassination allegations against them. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Aquino was actually warned by a bunch of Marcos followers and a bunch of people about death threats against him. His reply? The Filipino is worth dying for. Again, till this day, nobody knows who truly ordered his death. So, a couple of years later, after being pressured by the United States, Ferdinand Marcos announces a snap election. Who runs against him? Corazon Aquino, Binigno Aquino's wife. Now, the Aquinos are looking pretty cool right now. If you're Filipino and your last name is Aquino, you're pretty awesome. Marcos, not so much. Thank God my last name is London. To everyone's surprise, the outcome of the election is in Marcos' favor, but it was all a scam. Marcos thought he could get away with toying with the votes? People loved Aquino. People get really pissed off. The civilians of the Philippines start a revolution. They all gather together and form the People Power. Kind of like Dumbledore's army, but bigger and Filipino. My parents were actually a part of it. They held a lot of peaceful protests and whatnot. Millions and millions of Filipino civilians fill the street in Quezon City, Manila, and they all just sit there. There's a lot of praying and festivities going on. People are constantly flashing the Laban sign. Laban means fight. It starts with L, so a lot of people are roaming around, whooping this everywhere. My dad took this picture during the People Power Revolution. This is Corazon Aquino and her running mate, and here are a bunch of People Power people flashing the Laban sign. Isn't that cool? You probably see a reflection there too. Wow. I just love it. The sunset and everyone pulling up their L's. So the Marcoses get freaked out and they flee over to Hawaii in exile. As this happens, their palace gets attacked. Now, we've all learned enough about our various dictators throughout the world. What I find most interesting about the Marcos regime is Ferdinand Marcos' wife, Imelda. Dum dum dum. You know the Department of Mysteries in Harry Potter? Well, replace all the prophecies with shoes. When their palace gets attacked, a humongous room filled with shoes is found. Gusto ko yung mga sapatos na yun. Ang ganda-ganda naman yung mga sapatos. Sana akin yun yung mga sapatos na yun. J'adore ces chaussures! What language are you speaking? All these shoes were extremely fancy and extremely expensive. They were all owned by Imelda. It is said in Time magazine that about 1,060 shoes were found in there. Here's this lady, representing the Philippines, wearing gorgeous, gorgeous gowns all the time and owning over 1,000 shoes. It's so ironic because many of her people didn't even own a single pair. So basically, she's known as the Filipino version of Marie Antoinette. So people get really excited when the Marcoses flee to Aloha Land. And ultimately, Cory Aquino is elected as president, abolishing the Philippine parliament that Ferdinand Marcos made, and everyone lives happily ever after. Woo! So today we learned about the Marcos regime, Ferdinand Marcos and his stupidity with the martial law, people getting pissed off, the assassination of Binigno Aquino and the awesomeness that comes along with the Aquino last name, and the negativity that comes along with the Marcos, beautifulness of the people power, and shoe lady. Look this chick up. She's insane. I thought this was fun. Hopefully I didn't bore you or anything. And whoever's going next week, we will see you next week. Bye-bye now.